Welcome to Gaikoku Gamers. I'm Darryl Benson, and the reason why we're filming over here today is because the Lost World is lost. The Lost World arcade cabinet is gone, and I have some really great plans for the area to go ahead and make more of a studio space. However, until that's done, you will be seeing me in random places around the apartment and around town. Fun, but it's okay because I have a way to make it all up to you. I'm going to show you this. Here we have the Sega Katana. It is the development kit for the last Sega console, the Sega Dreamcast, the one that I and many other millions of people hold near and dear to their heart. This is an import model, by the way. You can tell by the little jewel here. The American ones were gray, the Japanese ones were clear with a silver background, and of course the European models had a blue swirl instead of orange-ish, reddish color. Anyway, as you can see here, the Dreamcast symbol is up here, along with 4 controller ports, A, B, C, and D. These are also lettered A, B, C, and D, but it's on the top, not the bottom. This gigantic thing right here is your CD tray, or your GD-ROM tray, I should say, which is the same as what you'd have on a standard Dreamcast. In fact, it's the exact same laser assembly. If yours ever burns out, you can replace it with the same one that's inside a standard Dreamcast. As you can see, it's exactly the same. And it's the whole assembly that slides out, which is kind of weird. You have your power button, reset button, some thinking, the old school PC lights. You have a switch, a slide switch. Now on the left side, if it's going off to the left, it'll be in basically like Dreamcast play mode. So you'll be able to do this, put this here, drop that in, and it'll play a game. If it's off to the right, the system will go into development mode or debug mode. And I have not personally tried to go through there. You have to have a PC set up with the right software, and basically if you do switch it to the right and it's on, you might basically need to reflash it if you don't have the exact proper setup. This Sega Katana actually has an original hard drive inside, which I'll actually be showing you. It's a bit of a surprise. But right here we have a rotary switch. Now the rotary switch changes the region. So 0 is 1, 4 is 1, and I think it's like 9 is European. And then to the right of that you have dip switches. Now when they're all the way down, you'll go ahead and find yourself with a not so beautiful composite out. If you want to change that, you got a VGA out. I believe it's the first 2 dip switches up in the up on position. And that's how you change that. Otherwise, it's pretty self-explanatory. It's basically a PC and a Dreamcast combined. Now, I'm going to go ahead and move Mr. Dreamcast out of the way. We're going to flip this thing around. Okay, and as you can see, there's a variety of ports in the back. This particular Katana seems like it came with every single chip that you could possibly throw at it. There are a lot of Katanas out there with these ports missing. There's actual chips behind here. And if you didn't purchase those, you wouldn't have access, obviously, to these ports. It'd just be holes in the casing. These things allowed you to do things like plug in a GD-ROM writer and other serial ports, which I'm not exactly sure what this does. Right here you have the line in for internet, dial-up, I guess that's for testing, internet-connected games. And then this right here, all right here is your sound and video out. So you have everything from VGA, MIDI, in and out, S-video, and composite. Now, from what I can tell, this is a YouTube first. No one has actually opened one of these things and shown what's inside, other than still pictures on the internet, and even those pictures are pretty limited. So I'm going to actually open this up for you, and you're going to see how to disassemble mildly, I might add, nothing serious today, a Sega Katana. There's 4 screws on the sides, total 2 on each side. And they just kind of hold the shielding in place so it doesn't go really anywhere. They're actually not terribly important. On the back side, as you'll be able to see, you have 1 screw here, 1 screw here, 1 screw here, and you're done. So let's take those off. Again, I am right-handed trying to screw with my left hand, so bear with me, please. And the last screw. For those who are impatient, you will soon be able to see the awesomeness inside. We're going to go ahead and pull this off for all of you guys to see. And there you go. This is the inside of a Sega Katana. Down here you have your power supply. Over here you have what I've been able to figure out is some sort of graphics card, seeming as that's where all the video outputs are. Here is your CD drive. Up here is your main motherboard. And on the top here is your Seagate hard drive. Now what's really cool about this is that you can actually find prototype games, beta games, alpha games that have never been released. I've actually never looked on this hard drive, so who knows what's in store on this thing. I do know it was owned by a developer. I do not know what developer it is because the label has been ripped off, so I apologize. However, someone might be able to figure that out one day, and I'm going to go into that in just a second. On the side here, there's 4 tabs. I'm going to undo the screws here on those tabs. Once these 4 tabs are off, which this is the last one right here, you'll actually be able to see the front of this thing without its face. Go ahead and demonstrate that here. As you can see, the GD-ROM kind of naturally sticks out a bit. You have all of your dip switches and slider switches and rotary switches right here, conveniently attached to this awesome little circuit board. And as you can see, the amber lights are here to tell you whether or not it's thinking or not. Your reset button is here and your power button is here. Pretty cool. Your controller ports are down here. It's a separate chip down here. It really is kind of a mishmash of a PC and a Dreamcast. That's the best way to put it. So that is a Sega Dreamcast. Well, Sega's Dreamcast Katana, the dev kit unit. And there we go. There's a faceplate back on it, so it looks all nice and pretty. Let's go ahead and boot this thing up. Okay, here we have this thing hooked up, and we're just about to hit the power button. Now you'll notice the intro is a little different. There you go, that's the European mode. So I'm going to turn this off. and try it again. This time it should be American. There we go. So there you have it. I've actually gone ahead and modified this Dreamcast to start it the same way, which essentially also makes it region free. It's a little difficult to do so. I really wouldn't recommend it unless you know what you're doing, but basically this is exactly what the dev kit looks like in Dreamcast mode. I'm not going to show you the PC mode, obviously. If you're interested in trying this out for yourself, and if you have a little bit more guts than I do, and you want to see what's on that hard drive, if there's any unreleased beta or prototype or alpha or whatever, this is actually going to be for sale. And this will be on eBay starting tonight. So frankly, if it's any time near the 2nd of February of 2015, you will be able to go ahead and find this Sega Katana up for sale. And they're very, 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 very hard to find. So the price will kind of speak for that. However, it will be pretty moderately priced simply because at this moment, while the CD tray spins just fine, it does not seem to want to boot any game. You have to kind of slightly press in the drive. Basically, the drive needs to be replaced, which isn't that hard of a mod to do, but I really don't want to use this as a Dreamcast. This should be in the hands of someone who wants to make games. And I'm just not that person, so go ahead and check it up on eBay. Just type in Sega Katana and I'm sure you'll be able to find it. I hope this has given you a nice look, literally, into the Sega Katana. It's an amazing dev kit. It's actually attractive. Doesn't have wires and chips sticking out like the PlayStation ones. It's just a really cool system, and it can play every single Dreamcast game, which is pretty cool. You can also upload games onto the hard drive and play it off the hard drive. However, not all games are compatible. I know that Shenmue is not compatible. And frankly, I really wouldn't recommend it. There's stuff that's probably on that hard drive that's a lot more important and a lot more valuable than you dumping stupid ISOs onto this thing. So I hope you've enjoyed the sneak peek into the Sega Katana. I hope you've enjoyed looking into the internals of the Sega Katana. Again, for the first time on YouTube, please go ahead and comment, rate, and subscribe. So until then, I'm Darryl Benson, and this has been another bite-sized episode from Gaikoku Gamers. We'll see you next time.